What up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy en Día TV. I'm your host and producer, Yessi Rodriguez. Welcome to another terrific Thursday. Yes. Wow, we are already in mid-June. Half of the year of 2026 have gone through, and I feel like it's been a snap of the finger, and we are June. Wow, like what's happening, right? But you know what's interesting? I remember growing up, and there was that old saying when we were trying to rush to get older, and then I would hear the adults saying, "Wait till you get older. It's gonna go by fast. You're not even gonna remember the time or the day of the week." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then yeah, they were right. So, oh gosh. But nevertheless, I'm going to welcome on my amazing co-host. We have Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur. We have Dr. Andrea, the actionist, author, entrepreneur, and both are actresses, yes, and models. Welcome, lovelies. ¿Cómo están? How are y'all?
How are you? I'm doing well.
Yeah, doing great. You guys look amazing. You guys look beautiful. Loving the hair, Nadine. Loving the earrings. Those are super cute.
Thank you. You know, I feel like playing dress up today. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it.
You do too. Y'all both.
Yeah, you look amazing too. How was your vacation?
Oh, vacation was good. We were in Orlando. We were in Florida. We were touring the studios, Universal. We did the Adventure Island because we had never been there before. And then we did Epic, which was really cool. They had this Frankenstein ride, and it was awesome. Yes, you would have let it. I was thinking about you the whole time I was there because I was like, my girl will be on these roller coasters with me. We will be getting it in. But the Velocicoaster at the Island Adventure is like one of the best roller coasters that I've ever ridden in my life. It was amazing. It was fast. It was topsy-turvy, up and down. It was just amazing.
I'll just say better you than me because I would not be getting on those roller coasters. Sorry.
It was awesome. It was hot, but awesome.
No, ma'am. No ham, no turkey.
Oh, you know I would have definitely been there with you. I've been trying to go with my two honeys, so I'll definitely bring my son and my honey to Orlando one of these days. I got to figure out when, though, because my interesting calendar, I don't know. But nevertheless, it'll happen. But I'm glad you all had a wonderful time. Did y'all take any fun pictures?
Yeah, we took pictures. Like the boys didn't want to take pictures because it was so hot. And, you know, at these parks, they cost so much to get in. And everything in there, of course, is already overpriced because you're making money. And on top of that, so we bought this water bottles like $30 or $40. Overpriced, right? But you can like refill your bottle throughout the park. But here's the thing. They control everything. So they tell you how frequently you can go and get a beverage. So there's like a little barcode scanner under the bottom of the cup. And so if you try to go get something to drink sooner, it'll say invalidated or something. And I just thought that was just very rude and very mean. The other thing I thought was like, you know, we did it apart for 2 days. We paid for a 2-day thing. But every day that you go, you got to pay $35 for parking. I'm like, this is excessive. I'm like, we, the people, have got to come together and like tell Disney, Universal, all the, you know, like, no, enough is enough. Like if I'm on a 2-day pass for a park, my parking should be covered for both of the days. I shouldn't have to pay. And $35, that is insane for parking, really? And then you controlling how often I can get a drink of water, because we really didn't even do the juice or soda because we really do that a lot. But we just wanted water because it was hot. Like we just kept eating ice, you know, and just wanted water. And it's just super, super expensive. And I'm like, I can all the families that were there, I'm like, how are we affording this stuff? Like at these parks? I mean, because kids' tickets are all the tickets are triple digits. They're all triple digits. And so it was kind of excessive like that. So I didn't like that part. But everything else, you know, it was fun. We had a good time. But I even sent an email, right? But I got like this, I know it was all like automated, you know, a return response. I was like, this is so automated and generic. You know what I'm saying? But I did write them and tell them, you know, say this could be better.
If I know anybody that would write them is Cece. Oh, yes, he would have done that too. But I mean, I'm clutching my invisible pearls because, like you said, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. I mean, they're already like billionaires, trillionaires, and they're just like taking this away. People could hardly afford to bring their children to Disney, you know, and parents make sacrifices in order to do that. So I'm not understanding why they're so excessive.
Money. So I was just like, man, but we pay it and we go and it was a good experience, but it was just, they make it like so unaffordable almost, you know, because with lodging and then you're driving and then food and then, you know, it's a lot.
Wow. That's, I remember I went to Universal Studios. It's been a while now, over 10 years. And it was pretty expensive. Like, yeah, at that point it was expensive. I can only imagine now in 2026 how much more expensive it is to do all of that. But that's interesting for sure. And you know what's interesting too, like the logic, if a theme park has a high visitor rate, right? Or individuals like patronizing the theme parks. Like, why is there a need to charge excessively for different basic needs? Like you just shared with the water bottle, like why?
Yeah, exactly. And I understand it's a business. So I was walking through, I'm trying to rationalize everything. And I'm like, this is a business. And within your business, you want to be able to generate multiple streams of income. That's smart business, right? Not mad about that. But it's just like everything. You know what I'm saying? Even when we went to like Mario World and all of it was like it was cool. It was beautiful, right? But they had games inside the park that they wanted you to pay for. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, we're not doing that. I was like, do you know how much money we pay for these tickets? And then if your child, I think it's like the age of 12, they charge them an adult price. I have problems with that. I'm like, if the law says you're a child until the age of 18, then why am I paying adult prices for an 11-year-old, 10-year-old, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I paying adult prices for that? That shouldn't be. Adult price should be an adult price and child's price should be a child's price. But nowadays they may only take off a couple of bucks and say, hey, okay, there's your child's price, But I'm like, it's just the greed of it all. And that's what really disgusted me. And that was the only bad thing I really had to like say, about that. But like, as far as the rides and everything, that was great. The family had a good time. Of course, Florida's hot, so you just got to be ready for it, right? But everything else was really good and everybody had a good time. But you're right about that sun. It takes it out of you and you got to make sure you have on sunscreen. You got to make sure we had on hats, and things like that to try to cool us off. And of course, they had like the little water, sprinkler things kind of just to cool you off as you're walking around the park. So, but it was really good. So check out Epic if you haven't been to Universal Studios, right? It's really awesome. Epic is a great park there, and also the Isles of Adventure.
Yeah, I hope these kids, they just understand and realize the sacrifices, not just you as a parent, but all the other parents are putting, themselves through to make them happy. And I hope they're grateful to take them to Disney World. I remember I went to Disney World one time when I was stationed in Japan. It was great. But no, I went to another one in the US too, but it's not for me. I don't do rides and you got to walk around for days. I'm sorry. Theme
It's
park,
definitely. I'm that one. I'm that friend. You take me. I mean, come on now. I'm still trying to find somebody to go caving with me in Puerto Rico. Like that's
go where? First you want to do caving, then you want to do kayaking. What else you want to do, Yessie?
Girl, I'm just an adventure seeker. Let's do it. Like I want to go explore the caves of like Russia and all the mystery stuff. That's just me. Anything mysterious, I'm like, ooh, let's do it. I'm intrigued.
You might find something you're not looking for, including bats.
But you know what? This is the thing. I'm that individual who I believe in God, right? And I'm not scared of anything. Like God's with me. God's got me, right? Like I'm that one. I'm scared of God. Like that's only being anything else. I'm just like, let's do it. Come on. I ain't scared of him. God's got me covered. I wear my armor of protection. Let's go.
I believe in God too, but I don't believe in them bats, and I ain't going.
Isn't it like a bug repellent? Like what is a bat is considered? What is it, like a mammal? I don't even know what a bat is considered. An insect, mammal? I don't know.
I think is it a marsupial? Is it? I think it's a marsupial.
Whatever it is.
What it is? What is a bat?
But I say that to say that I'm sure there's some sort of spray, right, that we can like spray around us where they're
that away.
Spray. Yes, you could just bring that beer spray and go take care of the bat with beer spray, okay?
You said the bear spray?
Yeah.
You gotta tell me more about this bear spray, ma'am.
Well, if you go to I was about to say Australia, not Australia, Alaska. I mean, you have to walk around with your bear spray. But I was just talking. I'm just saying the beer spray for the bears. I'm just like, I don't know if it will work on a bat. I was just talking.
but bats are mammals. They're mammals.
Okay, I was right. Okay, they're mammals. Okay, gotcha. But let me ask you this: is that like true, where you literally in Alaska have to walk with bear spray? Like
you don't have to, but probably 5 out of 10 times you might see a bear walking in Alaska.
Okay, well, see that part, because I know how I've seen movies about bears, so that part I'll definitely stay far away, even with the bear spray. I've seen some movies where it's like based on true stories, the couples go out hiking, all of a sudden, the bear comes and attacks their little tent, and that's all she wrote.
But people, they'll deliberately go.
She froze.
What?
Is she frozen?
She did freeze.
Me?
I thought it was
frozen?
Cece, you can see me, right?
You can see me?
Yeah, I can see you. You're unfrozen now. You're good.
Oh, okay.
We see you too. Yeah.
I think the weather is wonky over here because it's still raining here.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. But thank you for that fun fact about bear spray. I had no idea. So, hey, viewers and listeners, if y'all ever decide to go to Alaska, according to Nadine, and she knows because both Nadine and Cece are military veterans, so they're going to know the ins and outs of all of that. Bring some bear spray.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I just read something. Listen. It said if you have a bat in your home, it's generally better not to try to kill it. Bats are beneficial because they eat insects, and in many places, they're protected by the law.
Really? That's interesting.
If you handle one improperly, there's also a small risk of exposure to diseases such as rabies.
Yeah, I did know they carry rabies and stuff. Yeah, but look, if it's in my house, it will die. Okay, like.
but I'm saying, right? They always say as blind as a bat. So if the bat is blind, how can it see you to attack you?
But my mind was just boggled just a few moments ago too, right? Aren't humans considered mammals?
Yes, we are. We are. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is where I'm getting at. If a bat is considered a mammal and they're able to get rabies, that means humans. Obviously, we know what the whole rabies shot and all that. That's kind of scary. Like, is that how we turn into zombies? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. I mean, just think about it. Food for thought. Maybe we should chat GPT it and Google Gemini it to see, because something just ain't adding up here. When I hear that, I'm like, whoa. Let me pump the brakes.
What's the question, Yessie?
The question is, an individual who gets rabies from any type of rabies exposure, do they turn into a zombie?
If you get rabies.
Right. Because you're rabid, right? Isn't that where you turn rabid? Your mouth starts to
foaming and all of
that. It says no. Rabies does not turn people into zombies. The zombie idea comes from movies and games. Because I was pressing my chat GPT while you were asking the question.
So then tell your chat GPT to describe the symptoms of an individual who has rabies and is in a rabid stage.
They are like crazy. They are like demented. Like it messes with like their brain and stuff. They do act very. You pull up the symptoms they need. It's very scary.
It says once rabies is in the rabid systematic stage, then no, it still does not turn someone into a zombie.
No, they're trying to cover it up. That's all.
When rabies reaches the brain and symptoms begin, a person may experience extreme agitation or aggression, confusion and disorientation, hallucinations, difficulty swallowing, muscle spasm, and paralysis. Aren't those the same symptoms as a zombie?
It sounds like a zombie.
And the winner is
sound like a zombie. It is a bloody zombie.
And the winner is Nadine for $500. Cece, you are up next. I'm just saying, right? We are here. We're keeping it live and real and OND out there, babe. That's what we are here for, to talk about life, all the ins and outs. And we bring you food for thought because we get it, right? There's a lot of cover up happening. But guess what? I'm that one, Nadine's that one, and Cece's that one. But we're going to expose the truth. We're the whistleblowers here, regardless of what people say. I mean, it's all about logic. It's all about understanding. It's all about reasoning, right? It's all about having common sense. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, then what is it?
It is a duck. Quack, quack.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm just saying.
Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy today. Oh my goodness.
That's right.
I think I rubbed some of my shenanigans on Nadine. Now she's like, ooh. No, I will say though, it was good really being able to bond with Nadine and build, continue to grow and build our sisterhood. I had a beautiful weekend with her. I spent the weekend in Georgia last weekend with Nadine. And we had a blast. When I tell you we had a blast, like I'm telling you, like we had such a blast that we were just literally exhausted. When we had to sleep it all in. We're like, woo, geez, what happened? But I mean, then again, it could be age, right? I mean, I know I'm getting older and I have to come to terms that I'm getting older.
I would blame it on the sun. Sorry. I'm still blaming it on the sun. It was the sun.
It's like that song, blame it on the sun.
And the chocolate wine.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all had chocolate wine.
Ooh. See, I'm telling you, you picked the wrong weekend to go on vacation, honey. You could have been here too. You and Yessie.
Man, oh man. I know that was so good.
Ooh, girl, yes. So this is what it was, right? There is a really amazing chocolate wine called Rosso. It's a red blend where for those like me that I love red, like the red, but then I also mix it. I be remixing wines in my house, right? I just mix stuff up. So nevertheless, I came across this red blend where there's a chocolate flavor. And so what we did,
No, I think it's like a back thing where it's like a feedback. So we were talking over each other.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you were talking about the rose wine, but I was saying that the one that you like that you found out is not in North Carolina is called the.
She froze again.
You did.
Nobila Crema, that's the name of it.
Can you see me? Now we can see you. You froze. Can you repeat yourself?
Yes, I was saying the one that you thought was in North Carolina, but it's not. It's called the Nobila Crema.
Ah, yes. So that's a chocolate wine, but that has a heavier chocolate flavor compared to the red blend one. So we tried it. And I made a mix for Nadine. I mixed 3 different wines. I mixed the red, which had flavors of, what was it? Blueberry and a hint of chocolate. And then it was something else. It was like a woodsy flavor. And then I mixed it with the Rosso, which is the red blend. Still had chocolate. And then I mixed it with the one she just mentioned, what Nadine just mentioned. And that was amazing. Like it was so delicious. And so I left her with the other one, the pure chocolate one, because it reminded her of the Baileys, you said, right? It was good. It was good. So, hey, I mean, hey, hopefully one of these days they can hear this show, this episode, they can sponsor us because we are giving y'all some shout out. So go ahead and sponsor an episode of Hoy en Día TV. Talking about that, we are always looking for sponsors. So for those who want to sponsor an episode of Hoy en Día TV, the email is actually literally scrolling at the bottom of the page view, hoyendiatv@gmail.com. Just reach out. Or you can go on the website, yessierodriguez.com, send a message, say, hey, I want to sponsor the show. How do I become a sponsor? We welcome you with open arms. I'm just saying, right?
You know what, Yessie? And also, when I went to that event 2 weeks ago, I met a young lady, and their liquor is called Bougie Vodka. I definitely need to reach out to her so she can come on the show. But I had a taste of it, like they were doing like a taste of it. It was so delicious.
It's called Bougie Vodka. I'm gonna have to look at that one.
Vodka, yes, I will definitely.
Okay, Nadine, I'm not sure what's happening. It looks like the storm
We're gonna have to get you guys out because we connected on Instagram. But yes, yeah, I can see you guys.
Okay, it keeps freezing up on. But yeah, that sounds perfect. If you can do that, that'll be great for sure. I know we have our special guest waiting for us behind the scenes, but I do have one serious topic that I do want to bring up, and this was just heartbreaking because it literally just happened back on the 14th, about a 1-year-old child named Cohen Wiley who was killed on June 14th after police in Senatobia, Mississippi responded to an alleged shoplifting call at a Walmart that involved diapers. So according to state investigators, officers of the vehicle moved towards them, nearly struck an officer, right? Leading one officer to fire into the car. Cohen unfortunately died. I mean, and that's, as a mother, I was like, wow, like that broke my heart. 1-year-old just unfortunately met his demise that early. And after the family arrived at the hospital, that's when he unfortunately passed. Another person in the car was seriously injured, but there's just a lot of questions based on the videos that I have seen. As a parent, the mother and whoever the other person was there did wrong. And as a law enforcement, they did wrong too. Like, why would you shoot in a car knowing that there's a baby over some diapers? And then on top of it, the mother, like, if there was nothing to hide, why didn't you take that extra minute to strap your child up in a car seat to make sure that your baby boy is safe, right? And even if for whatever reason those officers would have decided to still shoot in the car, at least the baby would be in the back versus on your lap when you're driving.
She said she picked up the baby to show them that there's a baby in the car, and they still sat inside the car.
And that's another part. Why would you even, like, you see the weapon being already exposed. Why would you even lift your child up? That is exposing your child to danger.
I think she lifted up the baby before they shot into the car to show that,
Yeah,
I don't even know.
Yeah, she thought that that would have like deterred them from like in the car, letting them know like, hey, there's a child in the car. It's a heart-wrenching story. I don't know the right answers to it. It's just it's all very, very sad. And her lifting up that baby to kind of because the story that we talked about on last week with that guy driving with all the babies in the car and the 4-month-old was ejected, and all that kind of stuff. Because I think the cops in that one was like, if they knew kids were in there, they wouldn't have been, you know what I'm saying? So maybe that was her rationale and thinking like, okay, there's a baby here. Maybe that'll kind of help them pump their brakes and kind of reassess and do something different. But it didn't. And so, yeah, this baby, like I don't even want to imagine. I don't even want to ever imagine. And it was something, even in watching her interview, I know people grieve differently, you know what I'm saying? But she was just kind of like, I'm just telling the story. Like, it didn't seem like she was very torn up about the baby being gone and stuff. I don't know. I wouldn't have been able to tell the story with a straight face. I would have been stopping, but I know people grieve differently. So I can't cast judgment there. Just got to try to understand it, how she's processing it. She was a very young mom, so probably not really, I don't even know. I'm not going to say not like educated, but maybe who's really educated when it comes to law enforcement? Like, you don't know. The average citizen doesn't really know how to respond in certain calls and certain things when they're happening. You have some basic stuff like for African Americans, like, it's sad, but, we tell our kids to put your hands on it. Make sure your hands are visible, make sure you have all your registration, your stuff there. So, you just kind of try to help save your life and just let the officer feel at ease. And so you can just make it home alive and that kind of thing. And so, but I don't think the most Americans know proper etiquette, when they're pulled over, you know what I'm saying? Because the world is so wicked, and my heart goes out to that family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, that was devastating for sure. And I agree with you, Cece. It's one of those things where it's like, I get it. Everybody does grieve differently, and you are correct about that. But I also agree that when I saw that video, I didn't see any emotion. It was just like, oh, okay, this is how it is. And I'm like, in my brain, it didn't click with me, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but definitely rest in peace to that young little baby boy, and he's now an angel. So yeah. Nadine, I know you had come across a video with regards to safety, I believe, right? With regard, if I remember correctly, it was pertaining to oh gosh, what was it?
Was it that jury duty scam? Because that happened to me. I thought I shared that on the show about the jury duty.
Talk about this, please. That was the one that I had shared with you all that happened in North Carolina. But yeah, let's talk about this jury duty scam.
Let's talk about the jury duty, because I received that call. It was on a day that I wasn't at my best. It was on a day I was super busy. I was doing 1,000,001 things. And normally I don't take spam calls because it was a call that I did not recognize. And I did get a person on there, and they were basically saying there was a warrant out for my arrest too, as a matter of fact, because I failed to show up at federal jury duty, and there was nothing on record showing that I had written in to get relieved from it, properly, given the authorization. And so I needed to pay like these fines, right? And they were expensive. They were like 4 digits, right? And they were telling me that if I didn't have the money right in my account, that they were going to come and arrest me. They said that they knew where I lived. They gave my name. They gave my address. They did not give my social. I know the lady in the video, they gave her social. They didn't have my social, but they had my name, and they had my maiden name. So that should have been a red flag right there. I should have been like, no, this isn't her, And but yeah. And so I was just like, wow. And they say, we know where you're at right now because we're tracking your phone and all this stuff. They make it very, very scary. And so I had my heart started pounding. And so I had to take a moment to stop and think. And then, so they basically did like a good cop, bad cop thing on me because I was talking to a sergeant. And so then when the sergeant saw that he wasn't really getting anywhere with me and I started to ask questions, he goes, let me put you over to my captain. The captain gave me a badge number. I asked him to repeat it. He gave me a name, like everything, right? And he was kind of rude and mean. And he was like, if you don't pay this fine for this warrant, we're going to come and pick you up. We want you to stay right there where you're at right now. They told me my address again, like they're going to come and get me, all this stuff. And then I was like, well, hey, I have a neighbor who's a sheriff, and I'm just going to go verify and see because, I don't, if I was supposed to show up for jury duty, I didn't get any kind of letter because they told me that I had received the letter and it had been signed for. And they was like, well, who else lives with you and all of that? And I just started to kind of just get quiet and shut my mouth because I was like, I don't know. And then, so he was like, yeah, you need to pay this fine, all this stuff. And so then he put me back over to the sergeant, and the sergeant was like, it was the good cop, bad cop. The sergeant was the good cop. So then he was like, ma'am, I don't want you to go to jail. I just want you to pay the fine and be done with this. This will go away, so on and so forth. This tends to happen all the time, and this is how we take care of it. And I was like, and I told him, this is my exact words. I said, I'm not sending y'all. I'm not giving y'all one red cent over the phone. I said, if that's the case, I'll go down to the sheriff's department and I will, and I'm with my lawyer. I said, I will take my attorney. We will go down to the sheriff's department. We will work this out. And I said, I have a neighbor who's a sheriff, right? They hung up the phone on me. Mm-hmm. They hung up. So immediately I called the sheriff's office. And as soon as I started talking, the clerk, she was like, was it for jury duty? And I was like, yes. And she goes, it's a total scam. She goes, I am glad that you called me though, however, right? And so she said, it's a total scam. She said, we were never, ever going to call anybody, ever. You will get a letter in the mail, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I've had letters in the mail come from jury duty. And when I started to ponder back on it after everything kind of settled down, I was like, yeah, no one's ever called me for jury duty. I always got letters in the mail. You know what I'm saying? So she goes, yeah, it's a scam. But that lady that was on the news, she was scammed out of thousands of dollars.
That is crazy.
Thank God that I just pulled back. And even the information that I was telling them and saying yes or no, I should have shut up on that too. Because I'm like, if you're calling, because when they started giving me my name and the address and all the things, I was like, oh my goodness. And it seemed so real. And the fact that they told that lady her social security number, it's public record. I understand public record, but sometimes there's just too much information. I believe just like an unlisted phone number. I don't believe our addresses should be out there. You know what I'm saying? That whole Google Earth is good, but I don't believe that you should be able to put my address in and zoom into my home and clearly see. You know what I'm saying? It's too much access, and you put people's lives at risk every day. So now
cameras are really, really good.
Information, yeah. And they're selling our information left and right. You get too many of the robocalls. It's just out of control. And there needs to be very strict and hardened legislation and laws to be look, because this is harassment. This is bullying, right?
Listen, the credit company get breached, the phone companies got data breach. So, and there's nothing you can do once your information is out there on the dark web. Unless you change your number, it's just somebody else is gonna take up that new number, and it's gonna happen to them. So I downloaded the app called Truecaller to filter these calls, and that's what I've been using. I get thousands and thousands and thousands. I won't even say thousands, but it's a lot of spam call every day. And then they will use an automatic system, and they will change a number and they will call again. And if you have a 954 number or a 757 number, they will use those numbers from those cities because that's where it originated, and they will call you, keep calling you. I remember one time I got put in these, remember Cece, I was talking about these group calls, these group messages with my phone number. And I went off on them in the group. I went straight off in Jamaican patois. I'm like, tell them and come out. You know what I'm saying? I went off on them. And then some people were laughing in the group, and I just blocked them. I blocked the number up, and they keep putting me in these groups, and I just keep blocking them. It's crazy. But then once you get the Truecaller, it will filter them out. It will filter it out. So, but I'm telling you, your IRS, Social Security, jury, they're not going to call you. They're always, those places are going to send you letters. They will not call you. And I don't understand how some people, they don't understand that. Like, don't pick up the phone and listen to the foolery, because you will get scammed. I'm like, my scam radar is like up to here. I will see you coming a mile away.
That was the thing when he said that I had received a letter and I had signed for it. So the two fines were, one is because I didn't show up. Two was because in order for them to do an investigation to find out who signed for it, I had to pay money for that. So those were the two charges, right? That they were trying to get money. Yeah, those were the things. Like, oh, well, let's do it. So we're gonna do a handwriting analysis. That's what it was for. And then we're gonna determine, because I was like, I didn't get anything, I didn't sign for anything. So it said, okay, you got to pay for this, and then you got to pay for the fine, and then the warrant will be called off, and all will be well, and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
They probably hacked into the police system to see who didn't show up for jury duty, and that's how they probably, get those people on the phone. That's crazy.
Yeah, but there was no jury duty. In federal jury duty, there was no jury duty for me. There was nothing. So I was like, yeah, but had I been like, just like when people try to get money from you over the phone, it's just like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to go anywhere. She should have, like, that lady in the news should have had a red flag to be like, because it was at a Bitcoin machine. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? That was all sketchy right there, because you should be going to the precinct.
Some people don't have scam radar. They don't have the scam radars, and they're just so gullible. Like,
yes, you're gonna be at the precinct, or at the courthouse, at the county clerk's office, right, to be paying that, because they have a bursar's office there, right, to be paying that money. So, yeah.
Well, you ladies said a lot, and I'm so glad you did, because here at Oyandia, again, being whistleblowers, we're gonna make sure you are educated. Just like with Cece's experience, and I'm so sorry to hear that you had to deal with that. She did the right thing. She said she was going to verify. She reached out to her connections, and she hung up the phone. And actually, that is what you should do. So in researching, do not ever pay anything over the phone if you ever get a phone call, just like what Cece described, or even the recent news report with a woman in Cary who unfortunately was caught up in the scam. She was affected. She was the victim. Hang up and verify directly. Do not trust caller ID. Watch for pressure language. Big red flags to include: just, you missed jury duty. There is a warrant for your arrest. Stay on the phone. Don't tell anyone. Go to your ATM. Buy gift cards. Pay a bond right now. The lady that was affected in Cary, they told her that she had to deposit her money in Bitcoin machines in ATMs. That is very sketchy. Like, no, do not give any personal information, and also report it immediately, because you can help prevent or slow this down. So again, similar to what Cece did, hang up and call the sheriff's office or call your local precinct to say, hey, I got a call. It's a little suspect. Like, this is what's happening. Can you see what's out there under my name? And voila. Or even if you have to go in person, right, to show your ID. But do not pay anything over the phone. Do not entertain the shenanigans. Hang up right away.
Was she old? Because who pays anybody in Bitcoin? Like, how old was this woman?
She was I would say in her late 30s.
30s, yeah. 30s, 40s, yeah.
Yeah, her late 30s says, yeah, unfortunately. But hey, I mean, people try, well, not everybody, let me take that back. Most people nowadays try their best to do right. And so when they hear those red flags, if they're not educated, not saying she's not educated in that way, but educated in scamming, like your scam radar, right? CC scam radar. If they're not educated in that way, unfortunately, they do get caught up in the process. But again, that's why here at Oyandia, we're sharing this information to make sure that you do not get caught up in that process. We're talking from real life experience, especially from what Cece had shared. This was her real life experience, and also what's happening day to day. People are getting scammed left, right, and sideways, and we don't want you to get caught up with that. Okay.
And the last thing on that, because I was like, what do you do when you get scammed? Because I've been almost tried to scam twice. One was with actually a classmate, which was crazy. But anyway, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that's who you report it to, right? You can go into the FTC, and you report it there. There's a very simple form that you click, you log into. They'll ask you like the name, what kind of scam it was, whatever it was. You just kind of type in the information. They have some drop downs for some things and stuff like that. And what they do is they keep a log of these things, because they're tracking this stuff, right? And they're doing it from city to city, state to state, all that kind of stuff. And when they're tracking these types of crimes, right, they're seeing how they're escalating, right? Because some of these, if they get enough information, this is like happening, just chronically and excessively, they will begin to launch a case, right? The DA will begin to launch a case into these things. And so the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, that's who you report it to.
Thank you for sharing that. Very, very helpful. All right, we're going to do a quick sponsor spotlight, and we'll be right back with Hoy en Día TV with our special guest. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth. In the job market, transformation has never been closer because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Are you looking for the perfect shirt for that special occasion? At Collective Custom Wear, we bring your vision to life. From weddings, family reunions, anniversaries, or casual outing with friends, express yourself with your unique style and leave a memorable mark. Order now. Our custom shirts are designed just for you.
At Cab Zenza, we believe beauty is a ritual, not just a routine. Rooted in intention and inspired by nature, our skincare is crafted to nourish more than just the skin. It nourishes the spirit. Every jar is made with purpose. Because when you flourish inside, it shows on the outside. Cab Zenza's isn't skincare, soul care.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
Yes, it is time for you to invest in the luxurious body butter. It smells amazing. It's super soft because guess what? Your skin is the largest organ in your body. Believe it or not, yes, skin is an organ, right? Look it up. Also, you want to stay hydrated, right? You want to make sure that you are nice and soft and people want to touch you, right? Give you a hug and not look at you like, ooh, ma'am, sir, your skin's a little dry there, buddy. Let's help you out with some Cab Zenza today, right? So yes, invest in Cab Zenza. You would truly, truly love that. Also, for those who are trying to find their purpose, it's A-okay. It doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're young, middle-aged, older, you are here on purpose. You were born on purpose. And I get it. A lot of people just don't know, but I do have someone who does know how to help you find that purpose. So reach out to Dr. Cece, the Actionist, and she will help you with Inspire for Purpose Girls with Gigs. Yes. Also, shirts. So whether you have a wedding, an anniversary, family reunion, school reunion, event, activity, what have you, order your Collective Custom Wear. Get your shirts. They are great quality. We have our Collective Custom Wear with Hoy en Día TV logos on it. So custom to you. All right. All right. Without further ado, let's bring over our special guest. We will bring her on. She's patiently waiting for us here. So today we have a powerful and inspiring episode of Hoy en Día as we welcome our special guest, a motivational speaker, humanitarian, actress, model, mental health advocate, whose life and message are rooted in resilience and healing, faith, and purpose. After experiencing the heartbreaking loss of her children's father to suicide, our special guest turned her pain into a mission to help others find hope, strength, and that true healing through life's most difficult moments, right? And as the sponsor of S.O.S, which stands for Survivors of Suicide, our guest is truly passionate about raising that awareness around mental health, grief recovery, emotional wellness, and the importance of supporting those who are silently struggling. There's a lot of people who are dealing with a silent struggle. And so her story is about courage, about transparency, and true transformation, right? So with more than 25 years of corporate leadership experience, along with her journey as a mother of 3 and a grandmother of 11. Wow, okay, grandma. This special guest, she brings that wisdom, compassion, authenticity to every platform that she steps in. Through her work, she empowers others to overcome adversity, rebuild confidence, walk in purpose, and believe that their story is not over. This is a meaningful conversation that we're going to have today, centered on healing, mental health awareness, resilience, personal empowerment, and transformation. Without further ado, we welcome our special guest, DamitaJo. Welcome to Hoy en Día TV, DamitaJo Parks.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Absolutely, welcome.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much for being on Hoy en Día TV. This has been an impactful episode already, just with the start of our conversation and now bringing you on. So we're truly, truly thrilled to have you here. Thank you for being on. So I've read an amazing bio and it's very robust. In a nutshell, who do you say you are?
I am DamitaJo, born Damita Parks, from Spartanburg, South Carolina. I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a grandmother, and I take mental health very seriously. I've just life has thrown me lemons, and I've just learned to turn it into lemonade.
That is truly, truly beautiful. And I'm sorry to hear about your loss, especially with the bio I read. I know that was definitely a tough situation to deal with. A lot of people, when they deal with a similar situation, a loss of a loved one, most individuals don't take that extra step to try to advocate for a certain area of the loss, right? But you did. You decided to advocate towards mental health awareness. Why was that important to you? I mean, I get it. You lost a loved one, but you took the extra step. So why did you decide to take the extra step?
For my kids. A lot of people don't realize that when a loved one commits suicide, especially if they have children, that their children or loved ones are more likely to commit suicide as well. And so I wanted to make sure that that wasn't the road that my children or myself went down. And that's why I invested a lot into actually the healing part, the healing journey.
So what are some of those red flags that you would share with individuals listening to our episode today about just being mindful to help with that silent struggle that I read in your bio?
A sudden change in behavior. It was my kid's father who committed suicide, and ironically, his death anniversary is today. And he was a great father. He wasn't a great partner, but he was a great father. And that day, now looking back on that day, I knew something was wrong because he was a totally different person. And that is definitely a red flag that something was going on. He also, just remembering the conversation, he started mentioning things that we no longer did. Like we hung out. My best friend and I dated brothers. We would always hang out and go bowling, but she had kids, I had kids, life happened, and we just didn't have the time to hang out. And so he just was trying to grasp and I guess make a connection. And he said, we need to go bowling again. You need to hang out. And it didn't register then, but he was trying to find that connection.
Wow. That's deep. And thank you for sharing that, Damita. I know that's definitely tough. And so as my follow-up to that is many people suffer silently after losing a loved one. Right. And I'm glad that you decided to take that extra step, especially like you shared for your kids. You wanted to make sure that they didn't travel down that same path. What would you say to someone who is grieving and feels like no one understands their pain, especially because they've lost a loved one?
You're not alone. There are so many people out here who are dealing with mental health issues, who have dealt with mental health issues, who have loved ones who've committed suicide. And one of the things that I learned through therapy, and I have a therapist and a mental health coach, and she said that a lot of people who experience that kind of trauma through a suicide dies with that individual. And she said she's so happy that I chose to live. And I did. I chose to live out loud.
That is truly beautiful. I'm so glad that you did decide to live out loud, and you're doing so many amazing things, but we'll definitely get to cover that a little later on in the show. But like you said, ironically, today's the anniversary of your loss. And what's interesting too is that June is actually connected to Men's Health Month, especially Men's Mental Health Month. So this is just a great show to really spotlight that, especially because mental health doesn't necessarily only happen in women and children. Our men deal with that as well, right? We have to catch those red flags. So thank you again for sharing that. I do have some other questions. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to spotlight Cece to see what her questions are, followed by Nadine, and then it'll come back to me.
Okay, sure.
Absolutely. And welcome to the show, and definitely sorry for your loss and all that you've been through. So how old were your children, like when the suicide took place? Were they younger kids or?
Yes, I was actually 21. My oldest daughter was 5. My son, he was 2, and he was asleep at the time. And my youngest daughter was 1. And he actually just shot himself in front of my daughters and I.
Wow. The reason why I asked that is because, the 2-year-old so young may or may not remember, but the 5-year-old may definitely have some memories and the trauma of it all. So like how, since moving on from that, like how were you able to help your children heal? Like, and the reason why I'm asking is it's for the viewers out there. So for people that have been through it, and I just really don't know what to do. So, having to go into therapy, all that kind of stuff. So what were some of the steps that you took to try to help your children heal?
First thing I did was got them in therapy. We all went to therapy. That was number one. But what I learned now is what I didn't know then is you have to be careful who you choose as a therapist. And I say that to say that you want to find someone who can relate to what you're going through. And at that time, I didn't. It was just, okay, this month, let's get into therapy, and that's going to be it. And no, that wasn't it. Because, like I said, now I still have a therapist. My children, my oldest daughter, the one who actually saw him, like I'm looking at you guys, shoot himself in the head. She has had several bouts of therapy. But it is, you just have to make a decision that you're not going to dwell in your grief and that there's help out there.
So in surviving all of this and healing, and probably still, healing, because this is a process, right? So
Definitely is.
How now would you say that, knowing what you know about suicide and having a loved one, that been through this, and now you have this experience, right? So how does this now like change your perspective on life?
One thing I learned is when you go through trauma, you have to definitely grieve for yourself. You have to grieve for what you went through. And I didn't have anybody to tell me that. I didn't know who to turn to. So I learned that just by way of actually watching a movie. I can't think of the movie's name, but Taraji P. Henson was in it. And her husband or boyfriend actually was trying to kill her. And she ended up killing him. But he told her a line, and it was the same line that my children's father told me before he killed himself, which was, if I can't have you, no one can. And I was probably in my 40s when I watched this movie. And it made me realize that I never grieved for myself. I grieved for my children. I grieved for his family. I grieved for him, but I never once grieved for myself until that day. And when I tell you, I cried like a baby, like it just wouldn't stop. And afterwards, I was like, whew, it was like refreshing. It was like a big weight had been lifted off of me.
So, and my last question is like, so what can families do now, right? Families are in crisis, right? What can they do, right, to get like better support from loved ones, right? Because sometimes you just don't know what to say or what to do, but you've now experienced this and now you've been advocating, right? And you have the S.O.S, right? So what can families do better, basically, to support their loved ones in crisis?
Just be there for them, just support in whatever way you can. I was lucky. My mom, my dad, my grandparents, they were all there for me. And just by way of just simply being there, being a listening ear, making sure that you go by and check on them. And also, I'm here. I'm a survivor. And if anyone has experienced suicide of a loved one, you can reach out to me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Thank you for that, Damita. Nadine?
Oh, wow. That is just disheartening. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I understand totally how you feel. I mean, I haven't had anyone commit suicide, but I'm very strong. Like Cece knows, we co-authored on other books too, about, advocating for mental health. But my question is, mental health is, often surrounded by stigma. So especially families and in the communities, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about suicide and grief and mental health that, you hope to change?
That is not a one size fit all. Everyone grieves differently. We were just talking about the young lady who lost her child and how she just looked like she was fine, but I bet she's not. Everyone grieves differently, but that grief is still there. It definitely is. And, you just have to figure out what works for you. And you do that by talking to other people who've experienced it. So just don't be afraid to tell your story. Don't be afraid to talk about what you've been through or what happened to you.
Right, exactly. And back then, I know it was a while, and I know you advocate for mental health too. Did you know about the NAMI back then?
I didn't know about anything back then.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. Nothing. My kids actually went to this program. It's called, I think it's Children's Advocacy Center. And it was like a group of therapists for children who suffered trauma, who've been through trauma. And like I said, I just looked it up. It wasn't any in-depth research or anything, but definitely you want to research your therapist before you even choose one.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are my questions for now. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Yeah, this is definitely a deep conversation. So my follow-up is with regards to family and community, right? We hear often about families and communities assuming that they try to take matters into their own hands or try to kind of brush things under the rug, right? But not really taking that extra step, that extra layer that's needed, just like you did with therapy. So how do you approach that type of stigma while still honoring your faith and who you are, what you do, especially when you encounter people that are like, oh yeah, whatever, it happened. But you do know that they're still struggling. And based on your experience and the experience with your children, if they don't take care of that root cause, that could have consequential effects in a negative way, right? So how do you handle that?
You have to understand, I would say research trauma. Mm-hmm. Research trauma, because what I learned is that when trauma happens, so our brain is shaped like a upside down triangle. Mm-hmm. So trauma, then this is your pineal gland, the dumbest part of your brain. So trauma happens here. And if you don't do your due diligence to resolve that trauma, it's going to keep happening. It will never make it up to the cortex. Because every time something happens to trigger that, you're still stuck here. So you definitely have to do your research and find what works for you. Like I said, it's not, therapy helps everyone. You have to find what works for you. But you definitely have to do something. You can't just sit in it.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You are the founder of S.O.S, Survivors of Suicide. Tell us more about that and just about the support that S.O.S can provide to people, especially dealing with grief, trauma, aftermath of just anything traumatic in their life.
Okay, so after the suicide, I knew I wanted to help others. I didn't know in what capacity or how. And I just always thought, what is the purpose? What is that purpose? Why? I'm always a why person. So I asked, okay, this happened to me. What does it mean? And I learned that things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And so S.O.S came about as a result of my kid's father's suicide. But I also spoke to my kids and asked them if they would be a part of this journey, and they all agreed. Because they can tell someone how to get, because they're survivors as well.
Right.
So they can definitely have input and help others, just to get through their grief.
So for the viewers and listeners watching, if they feel that nudge or the need to reach out to you and be a part of S.O.S, how does that process work?
Right now, I'm currently setting up my nonprofit. It's not completely set up yet, but you can definitely reach out to me on Facebook at DamitaJo Parks or on Instagram at DamitaJo_01. Leave me a message, leave your number, and I will definitely get back to you. And also, I'll send my email. You can email me as well at Damita, DAMITA, JO, the number 2, the letter U, at gmail.com.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, thank you. Also, let's transition over to your modeling and acting work. So in addition to your advocacy work, you're also an actress and a model. So how did that part of your journey begin? And especially your transition, like what really gave you that courage to say, you know what, yes, I'm dealing with this, but now let me do something for me, right? How did that process?
So when my kids were little, my concentration was solely on getting them up into adulthood, getting them graduated out of high school, and doing whatever else they would want to do after they graduate, whether it was finding a job, going to college, joining the military, what have you. So at that point, when I got all 3 of my kids graduated from high school, I was like, okay, now I can focus on me. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that 2020 COVID hit, and I'm at home. I'm like, okay, not doing anything. What am I going to do? What is my life going to look like? Now that I got grandkids, my kids are grown, what I'm doing with my life. And I say it's God. God gives you signs. And I was on Facebook, actually, and it was this thing that popped up for a photo shoot. And I was like, well, I always love taking photos, with my cell phone. I always taking selfies. Let me go see what this is about. And that was the beginning of my whole journey.
That's amazing. So the fact that you just took that courage and you're like, you know what, let me just do this. Did you ever face any fear, any self-doubt, hesitation, like when you first started, especially pursuing acting and modeling? And what did you do, if you did, to push through that? I
can honestly say I didn't have any fear. I'm like you, Yessie. I don't fear anything but God. I'm a tandem skydiver. I love roller coasters. I do snakes, but not spiders. So I'm definitely that girl. And there's no fear there. God didn't bless me.
Did you just say snakes?
Snakes. Yes. I'm the girl that'll walk in the park, and because I have done this, saw a snake and picked it up.
Look, I just saw a snake on my back. Well, I didn't see it. My kids seen it on the back patio. And I announced to all of nature, look, don't come up in my yard and my space. Definitely don't come into my house because you will die. So that snake had his head. He was decapitated. Yes, with quickness. Yeah, and then hey, let your friends and buddies see your body out there because they know not to come over these parts over here, okay?
I don't know. I grew up watching, what is it, Crocodile Dundee, and what is the other little guy who died from the ill?
I know who you're talking about. He was very
Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin. Yes.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I remember.
Yes. I was like, oh, I want to do that.
So you're not.
Oh, I think she froze again.
Uh-oh.
You froze. You still there?
You there?
You're not scared of lizards then?
No, I'm not scared of lizards.
You don't even know how many eggshells I have around my house now. That I went out and this
around this time in Florida, that's all you see. So yeah.
I used to live in Florida too, honey, and they had to come and the police had to come and get a frog out of my house.
You could have called
Get a
me.
lizard out of mine.
You could have called me. I would have come and got it. I would have got
Yes,
it.
you're in Georgia too, Damita.
Yes.
That is
I'm like, I know you over Howard Way in Atlanta traffic, but can you come help me? Girl? Help me.
On a serious note, though, I wasn't. I'm not fearful. I'm not scared to try new things. Especially if I think it's going to bring me joy.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Absolutely. You should never, ever be scared. In general, anybody.
No.
I agree. You shouldn't be scared to try new things. That's why for people that know me, they know that I do this and that and that and that and that. And that.
Absolutely.
I do that. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket because God made me on purpose and I have a lot of talent that God blessed me with. I'm going to use my talent, right?
Absolutely. That's why we have it. Use it.
Proud of you, girl. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love that. So you've lived through so many chapters. Oh, Nadine, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I said, I'm proud of you, lady. I'm proud of you. I'll just look at your pictures when you come back.
You. Then when you come back.
I love that. Yes. So, Damita, you've lived through corporate leadership, mother, grandmother, advocate, actress, model. How do all of those pieces come together to really represent who you are today in 2026?
Because at the core of it all, I'm still helping people. Mm-hmm. And that has been my passion. That's my passion, my purpose is to help someone be a better them tomorrow. And it's all because, like you said, of what I've been through. And I've just taken everything that I've gone through and found the positive in it. And that positive is, like I said, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. You have to find your purpose in your pain.
I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Nadine or Cece, do you have any other follow-up questions for our guest?
I do not.
Yeah, I think it's really amazing what you're doing. As you get your nonprofit up and running and things of that nature. I know Nadine had mentioned NAMI, and you probably have heard of NAMI, the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and so that's huge. We were, I'm a very active volunteer in NAMI when I was there in Georgia, which was where the headquarters and stuff is, and things of that nature, and in dealing with mental health. And then even Nadine and I partnered with a young lady. Who is now Dr. Abrams. She, her brother committed suicide. He was an Army veteran. We actually wrote a book. We did an anthology, and we have some chapters in the book and stuff. And so we do advocate for that, especially not just military, but for anyone. There's, like Nadine was saying, there is a stigma that is associated. And so if we can overcome, and we're getting better as a nation, we're getting better as a Department of War. We're getting better. To recognize and to teach. We always have trainings, right? You always have those trainings to do that. So I just want to commend you and say, keep up the good work, keep up the fight, right? Because people need this help and our world is crazy. And we say crazy, but it's really mental illness. It's mental illness, right? And in the spiritual world, these are demons, right? These are
right.
Enemy, okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes we really got to call it what it is. These spiritual unseen forces that, these principalities that we fight against each and every day. And so again, I just take my hat off to you. I say thank you for being on the show. Thank you for the work that you're doing, that you continue to do, and for being that survivor, and for your children, right? Growing through, healing from all of the trauma, that they've been through, and the fact that you're using your voice to talk about the pain and the trauma that you suffered, so that could help heal and help others. Just blessings be upon you. Thank you for the good work that you're doing.
you. And I want to say I'm also in the process of writing a book. It's called Black Sheep, Lion Heart, and it probably will be out later this year.
Awesome. Congratulations.
That's exciting.
Thank you.
Well, how did the title come about?
Okay. So I was the black sheep of my family growing up, like, because I've always been outspoken. I always say what I think. I've always been opinionated. And I wasn't the, you a little girl, be quiet. Like I said, I'm always that why person, but why? But why? Don't tell me no, I can't. Just tell me why I can't. And so I became like the black sheep of my family. My parents and I lived with my grandparents, my paternal grandparents, and they made differences between their grandkids. And I saw that as a little girl, just in actions that they did. And that's how I came up with the black sheep part of the book. And Lion Heart, I'm a Leo. And so that lioness just came out. And so that's how I came up with the title, Black Sheep, Lion Heart.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's really good. I like it. That's great.
Thank you.
I love that. Yes, it's when you think of a black sheep, like as I'm listening to the title, I think of both. I'm like, that's a clever title. I love that. That's definitely going to make people want to read it for sure. So outside of everything that we've talked about, is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience and listeners before we transition over to our last minute words?
No, just reach out. If you know someone that is going through a tough time, reach out to them. Reach out to them. And you don't have to say anything. Just call them. Hey, I'm just calling to check on you. How is your mentor? And it's simple as that. And that would get a conversation going.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that for sure. That's wow. Damita, thank you again for joining us today. Like your story, your journey, just everything that you've shared is really, it's powerful, indeed powerful. And I can tell that you're definitely helping people. I can see your passion in your eyes. I can see when you explain it, the glow in your face. And that's just a beautiful thing to have and to find your purpose that was out of a tragic situation and to be able to come with a positive. That's just, wow. My hat's off to you for sure. And your story is truly a powerful reminder that even though individuals, this is life, right? We deal with the grief, we deal with the loss, we deal with painful moments in our life, and everybody's pain is different. It's not going to look like mine or yours or the next person, right? Or Cece's or Nadine's. Healing is possible for all of us. It's just about, like you said, our mental. It's the mind over matter, right? That's why I always love to talk positively, to say, yes, you are amazing. You are powerful. You're the daughter of God. You're a child of God, right? Speaking
affirmations. Yes,
absolutely, because that can definitely help you grow. And I notice a lot of people don't do self affirmations. So that is a challenge that I want to really send out to the viewers and listeners today. When was the last time that you positively spoke about yourself? Stop dwelling into the negativity. Look at the positive. Whether you can make a great drink, or whether you can clean the bathroom greatly, or whether you can write a beautiful letter, whatever it is, speak positively about yourself, even if it's small.
Absolutely. As soon as your feet hit the floor in the morning, start with your positive affirmations.
Yep.
Yes. And trust me, we have 4 people here. We have myself, we have Cece, we have Nadine, we have Damita, who can confirm and vouch that positive affirmation helps. I know for sure that Cece does it. I know for sure that Damita does it. I know for sure that Nadine does it. And I do it too. And guess what? We're here. We're like, hey, this is life. Yes. Okay, let's do this. Hey, we're living our best life because we know we are here on purpose. And guess what? You are here on purpose too.
Absolutely.
Don't forget that. Don't forget that. So yes, to anyone watching and listening who might be grieving, especially if you're grieving silently, right? Because some people feel embarrassed. Some people feel like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. It's embarrassing. No, it is not embarrassing. And if anybody tells you that, then they should not be in your circle. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that is not true, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So really, really reach out to Damita, or if you have someone that you can trust, whoever it is, but please get help, because it's okay. We're all here. We all somehow need help some way or another. We're not perfect.
That's it. Right? It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and transition over to our last minute words. This is just simply us to be able to spotlight who we are, remind people how they can find us, follow us if you have a closing quote that you want to share, or reminder of, hey, reach out, like whatever it is that comes to your heart. This is what the last minute words part of this segment is. And I'm going to have Nadine start us off, followed by Cece. Damita, you will go third, and I'll close out with the remaining sponsors and my last minute words.
Yes, so as you guys already know me, Nadine Barton here on Facebook or on Instagram, Nadia B_1202, author, actress, entrepreneur, Navy retired. If you need any of my books, just go to my website, www.nadinebarton.com. And I always say life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So treat people kind. And my newest code that I invented myself, every dream has an entry point, a decision, So, and again, I make sure that you guys go and watch our new movie that just came out, Cheer Dad. It's now streaming on Prime, and it will be on other platforms. I think it's on Apple TV right now. It's on Prime. It's on Fandango, and it will be multiple streaming platforms will be coming out on Father's Day. And also my other movie on Tubi, our other movies, not mine. I was just, a part in the movie called My Girlfriend's Husband is now streaming on Tubi. So make sure you go ahead and go watch it, and, have fun with the family. Grab your popcorn because it's fun.
I love it. I know it's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. So, hey, I'm your girl, Sienna D Actions with Inspire for Purpose, where we equip, empower, and help you execute your vision, right? So remember, nothing positive ever comes from negative thinking. So I want you guys to think on those things that are true, think on those things that are noble and just and pure. If it's of any good report, think on those things, anything that's praiseworthy, or if any virtue, right? You can find me on the www at inspireforpurpose.com or girlswithgigs.com. And as always, love and light and inspire for purpose.
Hi, I'm DamitaJo. You can find me on Facebook at Damita Parks or Instagram at DamitaJo_01. And I just want to leave you all with, everyone experiences pain. Pain does not skip any one of us. But I encourage you today to use your pain to find your purpose.
Thank you. Wow, what a powerful episode. Again, like we always do, that's what Hoy en Día is all about. This is life. We talk about the ups, the downs, the good, the bad, lifestyle. So we are here to positively motivate, educate, enlighten, inspire, and entertain you, the viewer and listener, with each and every episode. And I know we did that today. We dropped so many jewels and nuggets, and wow, like my brain just grew a lot even by that. But that's a beautiful thing. Every day that you wake up is an opportunity to grow and expand your knowledge. And if you feel like you haven't done that, then please, I encourage you to do so. Whether read a book, find a quote, I don't know, fun fact. I mean, look, earlier we talked about, bats and mammals and rabies. I mean, a fun fact, right? Hey, that part, right? So it's always really about what you make of it. Anything that you can perceive as negative, there's always a positive to it. Remember, mind over matter, right? And so I am going to spotlight 2 remaining sponsors, but don't go anywhere because I'm going to finish with my last minute words. So we'll be right back with Hoy en Día TV.
Sponsored by Collective Wear, available at www.yessirodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy en Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Yes, Hoy en Día TV is Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. We are live, and reruns Sundays, 7:30 p.m. So for those who want to find us, follow us, watch us, we are here. You can find us on many platforms. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, RSS, Deezer, Apple Music, Samsung Music, Spotify, was iHeartRadio. Like, we're in a bunch of different platforms. So the easiest way for you to do it is just go on your Google or on your Edge or whatever browser you use and type in Hoy en Día podcast, and all of the platforms that we are in will pop up. You could also go on my website, yessirodriguez.com. On the drop down, select Hoy en Día, and there is a window there where you will see all the clickable links to the different platforms. For those who want to find me and follow me, just go on Google, type in Yesy Rodriguez, and voila, all my social medias, my pages, etc., will pull up for you. Also, for those who are ready to just get moving with regards to your acting and modeling, you don't know where to start, guess what? I want to take a moment to share that Slay the Scene Academy, the classes are starting soon. So go on my website, drop down Slay the Scene Academy. You're going to see it on the left-hand part. And so if you or anyone you know has dreamt about being an actor, a model, just want to build that confidence, learn the ins and outs of the craft because it's not easy. And for those who know me, I've been doing this since a long time, since I was a little kid. So I know the ins and outs, and I'm going to talk to you based on my experience, based on what I've learned, I've grown. Like even recently dealing with Nadine, visiting her, there was some other information that I gathered from the SAG-AFTRA industry national director that blew my mind. But that's for another episode though. But nevertheless, it's really about showing up professionally and putting your best foot forward. All of us need work, and it's all about you putting yourself out there and building that confidence, growing, starting from somewhere, right? So don't sit on the sidelines. Register now for Slay the Scene Academy classes. So yes. All right. Well, thank you all so, so much for just tuning in, for your support, for all that you do. Stay positive. And always, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. So until next time, my people, hasta pronto. Cuídate.